In this video, I'm going to pull together the elements from Project 3 and review them with you and show you a little bit about paths that are part of the requirements for this particular project. I'm going to start by just showing you examples that I've already done in layer comps and point out some things. This is just a regular Arial bold font that I did select the D and stretch it and move it so it was below the baseline of the rest of the letters to kind of create a frame around the eye of the day with Chaucer. The flower daisies were made as a custom shape that I created a path and did a custom shape, and like this one, and then I saved that shape. I did edit and said define custom shape, and you have to have a path selected for that to even come on. And then I left it just on a plain background. Now earlier I added this other background layer, this flower background, and I left it in real low opacity below that same arrangement. So I've met at this point at least some of the image layer requirements, and I've made 3 vector shapes, which I also count as image layers, as well as a vector shape, so it can meet a couple of different requirements. The eye of the day is just for the folder containing the eye of the day phrase. And then this one is where I duplicated the background, moved it up here. It's called background clipping. It was a copy, and I've clipped it into the type. And I did change the font to a Gill Sans font, so it does look different. And then the background is the same background, but by combining the two together, it makes it look like they blend together, just that the letters inside here all look brighter or darker than the background, which is more faded. So in this case, I did turn off the letter A. It was here, and I turned it off so that that one shape of the custom shape just stayed in that same place. I had also made another, wait, looking at the wrong place here. I made another daisy image, but I want to turn off the one that I had before. I'm going to just close that down, and I'm going to turn on this one. And this is just a regular daisy flower that I made. It looks like I might have moved the background or the mask away from the other. So if I actually unlink this and choose the move tool, I can move that mask so it fits right up underneath the flower, like it probably was originally. And then if I turn on the link here, it does keep it together. So now if I move the flower and the mask, they move together. And that just must have come undone. It's a regular layer mask, and one of the requirements is to do a vector mask instead. So I got this other flower that I thought I would do another path around, and I could turn off the rest of these vector shapes up here and even the eye of the day for now, so that we can see this just by itself for a moment. And I actually already created the path. It's right here. I'll choose the direct selection tool so you can see that I now have a path that fits around this flower. And this image was larger, and I've already scaled it to be approximately the size that I want it to be. So I want to make sure I select this layer, the layer that image is on, and then I'll go up to Image, Layer, and I will say Vector Mask, and I will select Current Path. In this way, a vector mask is added to hide the background of this daisy flower, and it is a little larger than the other one. If I want to scale them, I could make sure I have it selected. I could do Command T transform, hold down the shift key to scale it proportionately. So I could vary the size of this if I wanted to, but I actually kind of like the idea of it being overlapping and being a little bigger. So that would give me my vector mask. And when I did that, everything changed up here because I would need to make a new layer comp that matches that grouping. Then I also thought about, instead of using the same picture, I might turn on this layer, which is a gradient. I did a gradient from light yellow to a darker yellow, and I'm going to end up option clipping this into the same letter T, which is the letter Daisy down below here. I just clip that one in to that same layer, group of layers that I had the original background in. And then I might want to turn on the eye for a day again, and I might even decide that I don't want to have that background on. So I'm hoping that between the number of vector shapes that I have here, I have plenty of paths that I've named, and the number of layers that I have images on would meet the requirements of the project. So as you can see, I did more than one version in order to meet those requirements, because I don't believe that it could end up, I do believe it could end up looking cluttered if you were to try to have every requirement turned on in one version of the project. So that's all I'm going to cover in this one. I just wanted to make sure that you could see how you might add on a vector mask, and I believe most of the other items are things that you're already familiar with from previous assignments. Thanks for joining me.